Start recording. There we go. We are going to watch the new ViDoc that just came out for Destiny 2 Beyond Light. I have not seen it. I just got news of it about 2 hours ago. I did look at the roadmap. It looks amazing. I'm sure they're going to show it in the video and we can go over it there. But we'll just do this quick video. I'll get this posted onto YouTube tonight. And then we'll continue on to our normal 3-hour Thai stream. Oh, this stream is going to be a lot longer than normal, but it's okay. Let's go ahead and get into it then. Does this work? Everyone can see that? Cool. I did not test the audio level on this, so hopefully I don't blast your ears off. Well, we just turn this up a hair. We keep you down. All right, let's start.
Beyond Light kicks off the next trilogy of stories that we're trying to tell with Destiny.
Players are going to go on a journey to discover the true nature of light and dark.
It's the beginning of players learning more about the darkness. And in fact, going so far as to wield it.
It's about leaving comfort and safety behind, walking a different road than one that you may have believed you were destined for.
What makes something bad? What makes darkness dark?
Who's right? Who wasn't? How are those learnings going to change the characters that you have gotten to know over the last 6 years?
Beyond Light's really the beginning of a new adventure. Guardians, for the longest time, have been bathed in the light, sort of this altruistic force fighting back evil. And now we're starting to move into that gray area between the light and dark.
If the darkness reaches out, we must reach back.
I will not sanction this.
In Season of Arrivals, the Vanguard is divided. You have some characters telling you, we should fight these ships, and we have other characters who are saying, no, we should find out what they want. We should get to know them and understand more. But it definitely comes to a head.
This next year in Destiny is really just about how all the different characters and factions are reacting to these disappeared destinations and what that means as the pyramids have arrived in our system, not for the first time, but for the second time.
We're going to see the return of a character who's been absent for a pretty long time in The Stranger, and boy, does she have a lot to say, and she has a lot of time to explain.
When I know more, you'll know more.
She has shown up to encourage us to take on the darkness, and the only way to truly stop it is to work with it.
And here comes our Guardian, right on time.
Why did the darkness invite us here?
Europa is literally like a time capsule.
Europa is huge.
Killer destination, freezing cold.
Desolate.
Some of the most beautiful spaces I've ever seen in a video game.
There was a lot built on Europa during the Golden Age, and a lot of that was built underground. Clovis Bray had some research facilities there, really pushing the limits of technology and innovation there, maybe stepping into some things that we shouldn't have.
Under the ice, all kinds of secrets.
I'm so excited for what players are going to find.
The storm on Europa was actually something we've wanted to do for a long time.
We wanted it to feel harsh.
The weather system is so awesome. Like, you're walking through an open space and all of a sudden things start happening.
Coming across like Fallen or Vex for the first time, you can barely make out the glow in their eyes.
The sound of the wind, the ice will change based on what the weather is looking like. you'll actually feel every piece of the environment changing around you to match the storm.
Europa itself is a pretty foreboding place. Aramis is there in advance of us, and she set up a forward base. She has lieutenants who have gotten their hands on stasis, gotten their hands on the darkness, and they're learning to wield it.
One by one, we will rise again.
And so I think her motivations are really interesting, too.
Today, we begin breaking free from our chains.
Aramis really challenges a lot of the ways that we think about light and darkness. She's going to make you think about your relationship with the Traveler.
She's a compelling leader, and she has a vision. And especially after the collapse of their society, people, I think, the Fallen wanted someone to follow.
Is the light going to be enough? I think we've seen that we need some new tools to fight our enemies with. Maybe it's time to fight fire with fire, or ice with ice.
Stasis is, not just a set of new supers, but it's a new damage type. We've got Solar, Void, Arc, and now we've got Stasis.
The idea for Stasis all really came back from the gameplay idea of freezing someone.
That was kind of the theme that everyone kind of rallied behind. You know, Dima's an amazing concept artist, had some images that really kind of put us on the right path.
What really was landing with that was the more crystalline notion. So when we say cosmic ice, that's kind of where the cosmic comes in.
Once he freezes solid, I'm able to hit him again and just shatter him into pieces.
The pieces break apart and explode into sharp shards that can damage you. So all of that kind of came together when we landed on that theme.
Stasis is going to not only change the way that you can attack or approach combat, there's also some really great ways that you can upgrade it.
Then you start getting into like the more interesting parts, things that we're calling aspects and fragments, which are additional ways to modify your subclass. Aspects are a little bit more potent, and then the fragments are the things that are class agnostic, but depending on what your class is and depending on what your aspects are and how you want to play, you're probably going to be starting to select different ones in there. This is just the beginning for Stasis. We're going to continue to expand on it. We're just excited for players to get their hands on this.
When we're creating a new palette like Stasis, we do what we call a source jam. Everyone on the team blocks out about a week where we can say, okay, you're going to go out into the world, microphone, recorder, record anything that reminds you of cosmic ice. That gives us the palette that we can build the eventual sounds out of.
I found personally that the best way to do it was at night. But doing screams, screeches, and blood-curdling yells is a little scary at night. Then I had a really rumbly stomach, and that also was recorded. There was also a breast pump. You have to make use of what you got.
In Beyond Light, we have new exotic weapons for you. No Time to Explain is coming back. Instead of just being the gun that refills your magazine when you land precision hits, you actually get a little time portal, and it starts spitting out rounds alongside you. You can actually have that on top of the Arc Soul, so you can be your own little mini firing squad and build for it. Another one we have is the Lament. It uses up your sword's energy to give yourself a new combo that ends up in a big spinning slash. Probably the largest selling point for a lot of people is that it slices right through barrier champions.
I think the largest draw for most people is actually going to be the fact that it is a chainsaw sword.
Maybe.
Yeah. For Beyond Light, we really wanted to create exotic armor pieces that formed a key part of your build around which all the other parts of your build could revolve. For example, the Titan gets the Icefall Mantle, which is a set of exotic arms that looks like it is crafted from Golden Age tech. When you activate it, you sort of slam your arms down, create a burst of stasis energy, and then you cover yourself in an overshield. The Warlock Exotic is Necrotic Grip. If you are facing a wave of thralls running at you, you can nail them with your melee attack, and it starts to burst and sort of cascade through the whole group.
There's a lot there for newcomers coming in too. If you've got a friend who hasn't tried it out, it's a really great time to jump in on New Light, that entry experience for free players.
Last year, when New Light launched, we brought back a small portion of the Cosmodrome. This year, we're bringing back a much larger portion of the destination.
It takes some of the experiences that started with original Destiny 1, but puts them and stitches them together in a different way and adds new things and tells a different story.
What you're going to meet in this new opening experience is a character with not one, but two names from Fast and the Furious, Shah Han.
Thank the light. I didn't think we had other Guardians on patrol here.
What I love about the Cosmodrome is it feels like Destiny distilled.
Season of the Hunt picks up where Arrival's left off.
Other forces are taking advantage of the darkness to make their move forward, including Xivu Arath, a sister of Oryx, and she's taking this opportunity to build up an army. And we're working with Osiris to try to stop her.
Osiris goes out, stumbles across these hive growths that are driving combatants crazy.
Osiris is in trouble, and of course, you're his only hope.
We warned you it was going to be dangerous down here. Impossible.
We finally catch up to what we saw at the end of Forsaken, where we saw Aldrin being brought back to life by a ghost.
Aldrin, who now refers to himself as Crow, he doesn't know what he did. The slate's been wiped clean when he was resurrected as a Guardian.
We know what he's done, and we know what he could be capable of doing, so now we're going to spend some time watching him go back and forth, and that's going to question how we look at him, how we look at ourselves, how we look at the light, how we look at darkness.
In Season of the Hunt, we're partnering with the Crow and Osiris to take down the High Celebrant. It's creating these cryptoliths around the system, and those cryptoliths are attracting Elixian Cabal and corrupting them. So Xivu Arath is essentially corrupting herself and army, and it's our job to put a stop to it.
I'm really excited to see Xivu Arath fleshed out more and to find out more about her relationship with Savathun and what that means for Year 4 of Destiny.
Savathun has been placing dominoes, and at the end of Year 4, she's gonna knock down the dominoes. We're gonna see what she's been really up to. And so this year, she's putting the last pieces in place.
Destiny is just a really incredible world, and there are so many stories for us to tell.
We have a lot to look forward to. Beyond Light, then the Witch Queen, and then Lightfall, and all the seasonal content between. We feel like we've got a really great way to bring people together. Working through COVID and working through some of the other turmoil in the world right now has been really challenging.
I have to admit, I've been pleasantly surprised with how well we've been able to get things done.
We're committed to your characters and your community of players. We want to meet you where you are.
I think the thing that excites me the most about Destiny's future is how much it's rooted in where we come from.
Seeing villains revealed and finding out secrets that we've been hinting at for years.
When I look at the team that we're building and continuing to grow and hire
admire the new leaders that are coming up in Destiny. That gets me super excited.
Destiny's best days are ahead of us.
All right. Wow. Okay. Sorry, Mr. Black Tea. I'm going over a Destiny thing right now. That's probably what you saw. First off. Where was it? The whole Cosmodrome experience. I heard lots of rumors of it. What was it? Sean Hawk? He was supposed to be like, people were speculating him being the new Aldrin, right? But that's debunked. It turns out Aldrin's just gonna flat out show up, which is just amazing. Holy crap. Okay. I don't even know how to react to this. The story's taking a much different turn than I thought. It's going to be a lot more high focused, apparently. With Sivu or Wrath being the enemy instead of Savathun, which is really interesting. It's bringing in that last sister finally. Someone who you don't really hear about much, like at all. Oh man, I don't even know where any of these things are. There's one scene that really caught my attention. Let's see if I can find it real quick. I don't know. It was with Zavala. He was with Cabal. You guys know what I'm talking about, though. There's two Cabal Centurions just chilling with him. So either that means like Callus is finally starting to team up with the Vanguard, or I don't even know. It's probably all the way before the stasis crap, right? Oh no, it probably wasn't before any of this, right? Yeah. Right here. Got it. What? Okay. Anyways, my reaction to this is I'm insanely excited. Just beyond anything. I have no clue how this story is going to go. I really don't. It'll be so cool to see Aldrin and just that storyline progress. I love how he's going to be a vital part. Him and Osiris being kind of the head fronts to this hunt against Sivu Wrath, which is the season of the hunt, but the whole Beyond Light with the Stranger and Eris and just wielding stasis and kind of uncovering that Fallen plot. That's two whole different races of just story we have right now. It'll be good. It will be really good. All right. Well, I guess that's kind of my reaction to this ViDoc. We got what, 2 weeks before Beyond Light comes out? Right? 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks. So hopefully all of you are getting your weapons together, getting your gear together, and we'll see you on Europa. YouTube, I'll see you next time. All right. I am recording this well after my stream. Ignore most of my comments during the live reaction. I'm just going to shove this right after. I wasn't as thorough as I wanted to be with my reaction to this trailer, and I've rewatched it like 3 or 4 times. I've watched Bife's reactions to this. I've watched Azzacross's reaction to this. It's absolutely amazing. There's a couple points I want to point out, things that I really am excited for and just really happy to see. First off, this is kind of at the very beginning, this whole part right here. They talk about the trilogy story. I think Bife went over this a little bit, but this story isn't going to end with Beyond Light, just as kind of the Shadowkeep story is still continuing now. But I feel like Bungie's getting really good at connecting these seasons together to have this driving narrative with sub-stories that are happening. But we're in a new age of Destiny. And we had, vanilla Destiny. We had the Taken War. We had the Red War. And now we're in this period where the darkness is here, and we are just... We're dabbling with the darkness. It's this whole new, I don't want to say season. It's this new chapter of the story of Destiny. And it's going to be really cool as it continues on for the next 3 years. It's all going to be one story, pretty much. And I'm just intrigued to see what happens. Right here, I'm just going to play it real quick. Sorry if it's a little loud. Shouldn't be, but we'll see. Oh! Sorry, I had it on 2 times speed. I was going through the video again to make sure I had my notes right.
How are those learnings going to change the characters that you have gotten to know over the last 6 years?
I just want to show that was just really cool gameplay of... I've never seen Eris in action. None of us have. The Exo Stranger, I thought she was wielding stasis. It's not. She's using her teleportation thing. But it looked like the Drifter and Eris were using... I think I said Aramis earlier. My bad. Eris. Eris and the Drifter were using stasis, it looked like. Which is cool. Really excited to see that. I talked about this a little bit during the last part you saw. Where is it? Yeah, it's over here.
And what that...
Oh, hello. Let's keep it full screen. Right here. To go over it more, the Cabal are so desperate that they're teaming up with us. I don't think it's the other way around. I can't imagine Zavala willingly going to the Cabal for assistance and aid and saying like, hey, the darkness is here, let's team up. Zavala could give 2 craps about the Cabal right now. He's still really bitter about the Red War. I would be too. Still kind of am. But we know the lore, we know the stories. And to see them, what Bife presumes to be a Cabal ship, which I can see. This is very Cabal-like. You see this a lot on their ships and stuff. Big windows, whatever. But most of their stations are completely taken over. Like Nessus and Io were 2 big mining places that the Red Legion had established, and now they're just wiped out from the pyramids. And I don't know. It's going to be cool to see how they integrate in. I thought it was the Fallen, honestly. I thought the Fallen would be the first race to join up with the Guardians, but it might be the Cabal. Minus Varix. Varix has been our friend ever since the very beginning of House of Wolves. But next point, everyone's going to be quoting this a lot, but Luke Smith's quote here.
We're going to see the return of a character who's been absent for a pretty long time in The Stranger, and boy, does she have a lot to say, and she has a lot of time to explain.
It's just a great shout out. You're going to hear that so much. I'm really happy they added that because look, she's an NPC in the world now. We're going to be able to interact with her, and it's just going to be amazing to see how does she know? What has she learned in her time travels? What has she learned? And what is she planning on doing to prevent the future she saw, right? This great cutscene, adding on to what we saw earlier on the pretty much the last ViDoc, I think.
That is to work with it.
And here comes our guardian, right on time.
Why did the darkness invite us here?
I think that's so cool. That just shows our guardian is going to be speaking, that he or she, I do have a female titan. Hopefully they get more lines than just like the 2 lines that we had in Forsaken. And I guess in Shadowkeep we spoke a little bit too, huh? But hopefully we get to speak a little bit more and just get to see what our guardian's thoughts are on all of this. Obviously, I think they want to keep that away just to make it more personal to us, but let's be honest, we're all having pretty similar thoughts about this. Next is, I just want to show the picture for it. Deep Stone Crypt. Oh. Boom. So excited. Deep Stone. The Deep Stone Crypt is one of my favorite mysteries from D1. My first character I ever made was an Exo. I thought that was a really interesting, robots, how does this work? Then as I read more about Exos in the Grimoire cards, I was like, this is insane. Like, they're humans. They're people turned into robots. They're insane mad scientists. And just the crap the mind and the body have to go through in order to undergo such a transformation. I hope there is so much storytelling in the Deep Stone Crypt. I know Bungie's capable of doing it. It's done that in most of its raids. But I hope the secrets of the Deep Stone Crypt are finally out. We'll be able to understand some of Cade's final words. We'll be able to understand Grimoire that's been around for, 8 years. Just kidding. It's 6 to 7 years. But yeah, no, this made me really excited to see. Of course, we all knew it was going to be Deep Stone Crypt for a while, but to actually just see official Bungie news, like on the calendar and this and just everything, it's going to be great. I wanted to share this real quick because I think the last video I made about a reaction to a trailer, I thought my speculation was that the whole thing of Fallen would have stasis abilities. They don't. It's just going to be Aramis and her lieutenants, whoever they are. Obviously, this is one. I don't know about these 3. Only the big guys are going to have stasis, which is plenty fine. That means they're going to be tough as nails, and it's going to be interesting. But yeah, I just want to correct myself on that, except my theory was wrong. This is super cool. I hope it gets darker in the background. I think that's fantastic. It makes things look a little more sinister. I love how, like, the darkness, as we get more subclasses, I presume they'll appear over here, just as the light appear here, and how they're separated. It's not like stasis is over here. They physically separate it, showing that divide of the light and the darkness that we can wield. These symbols are pretty cool. I assume this is Season of the Hunt and this is Beyond Light, because there are 2 different ones, but they happen at the same time. We saw that with Shadowkeep last year and Season of the Undying. They both you could get at the same time. The seasons quote around the season of like Beyond Light or whatever, but they overlap. It's like 2 seasons in one happening for the first part. Then it kind of slows down a little bit as they get ready for the next year. One thing I'm insanely hyped about, because I'm a Warlock main, we're going to jump past all the sound effects, which is great. I just don't know enough about sound effects to give them justice. These Warlock Exotics I am so excited for.
The Warlock Exotic is Necrotic Grip. If you are facing a wave of thralls running at you, you can nail them with your melee attack, and it starts to burst and sort of cascade through the whole group.
Just want to show that. That is amazing. Little backstory. Back in Rise of Iron and the speculation around Destiny 2 coming out, and people saying, you know, we're going to get Darkness subclasses and stuff. Like, this has been talk for, what was that, 2016? For about 4 years now that we'd be getting Darkness subclass. And there was a fan-made subclass made called Poison. Or Necromancy, or something. But it's this concept of this poison, this being able to spread this disease to enemies. It seems very darkness-like. It's very hive-like. That's what we interpreted the most like pure darkness to be, was the hive at the time. Obviously not now. We've learned a lot. Bungie's shown more. They're developing the darkness as its own thing. But these grips just remind me so strongly of that. And it feels very darkness related. And I hope that's one of the new subclasses that come out as the years roll out. Is that poison type thing. Up next, just a little picture of the Cosmodrome. I'd have to look back on D1. It has been so long since I've looked at the Cosmodrome map. It's definitely a lot smaller.
A portion of the destination.
Sorry, just going up to see Skywatch and stuff. It looks all familiar. It just looks like the first beginning areas, right? Looks like all of the Rasputin crap isn't coming forward. We just have like the beginning areas that you start in. You usually spawn in down here. And then Skywatch and stuff. We all know what this stuff is. But it's cool that they're bringing it back. I know they're bringing back a lot of lost sectors with it. You can see there's a strike here. Public events are going to be new and different. You can, let's see, can you see any lost sectors? Yeah, here's one. I wonder if Randy the Randall is going to be there. Anyways. But it's just cool. It's cool to see the map finally. Cosmodrome is obviously not going to be that big, but Europa sounds like it's going to be massive. So, I mean, I can't be angry at that at all. Next point I want to talk about is Shahan, whatever, however you want to pronounce that. He looks like one of those characters who would be your starting guide. I think they did a great job at making him a hunter. It sounds appropriate, sounds right. I love how they give him Amkar's spine. Young Amkar's spine, I think. I'm not too familiar with Hunter Exotics, and they have so many Amkar Exotics, and my brain is fuddled.
Shahan. Thank the light. I didn't think we had other Guardians on patrol here.
Great voice actor. Honestly, it fits the role perfectly. I kind of want to start a whole new account just to go through this Beyond Light thing. But I'm not going to delete any of my characters. There's no way you can make me do that. Finally, I just want to play this last part. This is so lore heavy, and it makes me so excited for the upcoming seasons. So I'm just going to play it for you guys.
To make their move forward, including Zivu Wrath, a sister of Oryx, and she's taking this opportunity to build up an army, and we're working with Osiris to try to stop her.
Osiris goes out, stumbles across these hive growths that are driving combatants crazy.
Osiris is in trouble, and of course you're his only hope.
We warned you it was going to be dangerous down here. Impossible.
we finally catch up to what we saw at the end of Forsaken, where we saw Aldrin being brought back to life by a ghost.
Sorry, I'm going to keep
Aldrin,
playing it for you
who
guys.
now refers to himself as Crow, he doesn't know what he did. The slate's been wiped clean when he was resurrected as a guardian.
We know what he's done, and we know what he could be capable of doing. So now we're going to spend some time watching him go back and forth, and that's going to question how we look at him, how we look at ourselves, how we look at the light, how we look at darkness.
In Season of the Hunt, we're partnering with the Crow and Osiris to take down the High Celebrant. It's creating these cryptoliths around the system, and those cryptoliths are attracting Elixian Cabal and corrupting them. So Xivu Arath is essentially corrupting herself and army, and it's our job to put a stop to it.
I'm really excited to see Xivu Arath fleshed out more and to find out more about her relationship with Savathun and what that means for Year 4 of Destiny.
Savathun has been placing dominoes, and at the end of Year 4, she's going to knock down the dominoes. We're going to see what she's been really up to. And so this year, she's putting the last pieces in place.
Should probably unmute my mic before I start talking, right? I don't know how to make this any clearer than how they put it. It's beautifully put together, a great summary of what's coming. Just Aldrin's back. Finally, 2 years, and he's finally made an appearance. He looks hunterish. He really does. I love how they introduce him using a sword, which is just amazing. I love how his ghost, I think, is the same voice actor as ours. Maybe they tweaked the voice a little bit, but it's the same guy. I'm like 90% sure. I haven't looked at any like casting or anything like that. I'm just going off of hearing. I could be totally wrong, but I just love how that's the case. And the points of just that, we know what Aldrin's capable of, but having this fresh start, like what's he going to do and all that stuff. I don't know. It's got great comparable lessons to real life, which gives this story much more depth because we can put ourselves into those shoes in some way. No, we're not going to get resurrected and have a completely new identity, but there are many concepts in it that make it good. And I think that's what Bungie really nails on with its storytelling, is why the universes they create are so good lore-wise, is because of the realism that those universes are compared to the real life. I love how Xivu Arath is pretty much taking these races and making them an army, kind of like what Oryx did. She is not the Taken King. She can't create Taken as her sister can, but she can come close, especially with this new power of darkness that I'm sure she's picked up, as the rest of us have. And specifically, she's targeting Elixian and Cabal. I don't think she can target Vex as much, and I'm excited to see how the Vex fall into all this, because the darkness haven't included the Vex at all. And I think Bifus shared a video about it. I just haven't watched it yet. I need to. But anyways, Aldrin Sava as Crow. Amazing. I'm excited to see his role in all of this, especially with him having to work with Osiris. I don't know. It makes me really excited. It makes me really sad I have to wait 2 more weeks for this. Kudos to the Bungie team. Honestly, with COVID and having to work from home and just all these barriers and limitations, they continue to deliver. No, they're not perfect, and I know a lot of people give them trash, but I don't see... I can't. This is so much great effort. This is talent. I'm just really grateful for it. I'm grateful that I'm part of this community, this Destiny community, where the developers and the producers are just so passionate about this game and this work, and that they just continue to deliver, and that the rest of us can just have fun with this. We can support them. We're patient with them. we're doing this. I mean, I'm spending an extra, 20 minutes rewriting this. I guess it's not first impression anymore, but it's impression of the ViDoc. And anyways, I will see you Guardians just on Europa.